And welcome back to this week's edition of Two Coaches, One Grizz. This week's podcast, we got college basketball madness. Things are starting to heat up. Little UFC 272 recap. But we have to start with the bombshells in the NFL today. Coach, talk to me.
What do you want me to tell you? Aaron Rodgers signs for a passel of money. You have Russell Wilson getting traded from Seattle to Denver. We also have a little gambling action on the side with our boy Calvin Ridley. He was doing it to soothe his mental issues.
His anxieties.
His anxiety. It was anxiety, so he was betting on the side.
Nothing like a little parlay to set your anxiety straight.
An 8-teamer. Not to scare anybody off.
That's gonna calm you right down.
That's gonna keep no sweat whatsoever.
I know we got some serious comments coming with that one. But let's hone in. Let's hone in with the Rodgers deal. We got 4 years, $200 million, 154 guaranteed, 153 guaranteed. What a monster deal. Great for his coffers. Generational wealth. He's good. Whatever.
What a stupid deal.
They lock him into, he's what, 42, 43?
What a stupid deal.
Phenomenal deal on Aaron Rodgers' part. Talk about mortgaging your next 5 to 7 years in cap space with the Green Bay Packers. So I know you have some strong thoughts here. I'm going to let you riff.
My issue is that, and we were talking before we got on, and we were discussing it and going back and forth. My whole contention is for years, he's been complaining about not getting the pieces, not having the right guys. We don't have enough weapons. I need more of this. I need a little of that. So now we're going to bankroll and say, okay, the salary cap is at $208 million. It's the highest it's ever been in the NFL. So we're going to give a fourth of that to
25%, baby.
Like, how does that make sense? Because then now they franchised Devontae.
Which he didn't want.
Which is, I get it, but again, it's fine because it guarantees them a minimum, I think, of $25 million or so.
Yeah,
but then it opens up so they could negotiate with him. So, okay, we're talking north of $25 million or $25 million as a starting base. That's $75 million in two guys. Who else are you getting? What are you signing?
So if I'm not mistaken, I think before the salary cap was raised in this past offseason, I think that the average percentage of the salary cap that quarterbacks took up, especially in that top tier, was about, I think, between 30 and 35%. So if we're looking on percentage of salary cap, 25% is actually on the low end. But who's to say that the salary cap doesn't fluctuate in the next few years?
My issue is, when you say the low end, right? Of what teams? Are there those teams that signed their quarterbacks to big money and have tanked because they couldn't sign anybody else?
No, we're talking about in the last, the Matthew Staffords, then who jumped it, then it was Matt Ryan, and then after Matt Ryan,
okay.
How they were.
And I'm going to say it again. So you're talking about all the quarterbacks that signed all those mega deals, and then at the end of the day,
Coach,
I get it. I know what you're saying, but I'm trying to tell you, they crippled their teams.
1,000%. That's why I think now you look at it now in actuality, the Mahomes deal was actually a smart deal for them because they front-loaded it. Okay, we know that we're going to struggle, but we got the young guys, and now as they're kind of coming off of the guaranteed money where it's more incentive. Now they get to pay the other dudes, but they still got the whole 10-year, $500 million situation.
Again, but you're talking about a guy who's about 25 years
100%, Coach.
24,
100%.
25. You figure he's got easy, God willing, without any injuries.
10 years.
A good 7 to 10.
Right.
Let's give him 7 to 10. He's already 20-something, so we're putting him in the 32 to 35 range.
Got it.
Right?
Right.
No, we're paying $50 million to a 37-year-old, soon to be 38.
He is 38.
I'm sorry, 38-year-old. My bad.
We'll be 39 in this season coming.
He'll be 39 in December of next year.
Got it.
Beautiful. So he's 38, going to be 39 at the end of the year, who's just coming off of a toe injury, who's had a couple of injuries. Yes, toe, ugly toe.
See, if we had the video, I'd be doing the reenactment.
Don't know which one. But again, a guy that's not everybody is a Tom Brady. Not everybody can win Super Bowls in their late 30s.
So I was actually going to give you kudos on this, and you know, you brought it up before I was able to kind of go back to your former points, because you are a big look at the dichotomy of Tom Brady versus everyone else, where he's taking the pay cut to foster the development of the team around him.
And not even the pay cut, just not breaking the bank.
Correct. No, 100%. And all points, you're 100% correct in all points. The problem is that the Green Bay Packers were backed into a corner, and I know we're trying to make a family friend, but they were bent over, Coach. Like, it was bad here. They had no outs.
Whether they were bent over backwards or not, you're welcome. Okay? Whether they were bent over backwards or not, and we're trying to sign him at all cost.
Right.
I also do have to think that you have to think about the franchise. It's just like when you're coaching college football, coaching high school football. You can't put everything on a kid.
Hey, you can't mortgage your future on it. Right, I get it.
Because God forbid now the guy comes up with a bad ankle. The guy what happens to the rest of your team?
1,000%.
You're out of gas.
Because if they think that they're going to be able to build through this draft and get all-world offensive linemen or whatever the case may be, that's a flash in the pan. You still got to develop those guys. Go ahead, Grizz.
However, here's the opposite to all these points. In the next few years, he probably won't last the end of that contract. But let's give him 2 solid years, maybe a third is my argument. Who else are you going to have be your quarterback for that team that's better than Aaron Rodgers?
You're also right.
Who's better? What happened with the Rams this year? Did they not take a chance? Did they not mortgage probably a few years, maybe? Took a chance?
Time out. What did they mortgage, though? They mortgaged draft picks.
I know, mortgage
not
draft
millions,
picks.
Coach, the Rams aren't going to have a first-round draft pick until after my son
That's okay.
graduates high school.
I'm not
fine.
saying, and once again, the amount of money, bro, I wouldn't pay that kind of money to anybody. You're right. But there's no one else that would warrant that money at that age than Aaron Rodgers. You've had 3 years where this team has basically been the number 1 seed. If it wasn't for, I can't even tell you what exactly has lost them the last couple of years. It's just been unfathomable that they keep losing at home, choking the way they do. But still, who else is going to get you into the position for that to even happen other than Aaron Rodgers? You're going to take a chance with Love. You had him for the last 3 years. You would have done it already. That's not going to happen. So once again, Frankie is actually right that the Green Bay Packers had no choice in their mind, even though they should be thinking about the future.
But I don't think you should pay him $50 million.
You shouldn't.
Coach, yes.
You've got him.
You're right.
I mean, you still got him.
Right.
You have him.
But it would have been Armageddon in Green Bay if it hadn't.
But he's not going to sign for less, apparently.
We survived without Marino here.
Yeah, but the Packers have had,
Kenny Stabler got traded from the Raiders.
I still think they're worthy.
Joe Montana got sent away from San Francisco.
Grizz, I'm sorry, Coachy. You literally just compared this to Dan Marino and the Dolphins, my guy.
Because
we're gonna move on amicably from that.
Because I mean, again,
at the end of Marino was the end of the day.
Sadly, we could not do that. In Miami, when Jimmy wanted to get rid of him, okay, the time had come for Dan to go. Miami could not handle it, and it handcuffed the team for years.
I get you.
Nah, they should have been able to have already picked someone by then. I mean, they've gone through 20 quarterbacks. They should have picked someone by then that even at least was worthy of being a playoff quarterback.
But Grizz, you also have to understand that is, and we've seen it happen time and time again. How many number 1 guys at quarterbacks?
They stay too long.
But I'm saying they don't pan out. So quarterback is a difficult position to find and replace and stuff like that.
The only guy I think you can possibly pay the stupid amount of money and take a chance on and to maybe strike the Tom Brady lightning twice, the only guy is Aaron Rodgers that you could take a chance with. There weren't any other options for them. They knew they were stuck in a rock and a hard place. Listen, bro, I would not be paying, and I love Aaron Rodgers, but I'm not paying that kind of money. I understand the future. But once again, they had Brett Favre, they've had Aaron Rodgers, 30-plus years. I think they're willing to say, hey, we're going to go about 4 years with no good quarterback.
At the end of the day,
but I think that even I'm not even talking about the present, the future. I'm not about the present. I think even the present right now.
But I think
put you in a bind.
But see, here's my thing. I think they need one more receiver. I think running back, they're solid. They have their number one. I think what they need to do is add a piece or two on the offensive line.
Gil's argument. The money they're paying this guy, the money they're paying Adams to do that wish list is going to be harder now.
Oh, now they have essentially $100 million to fill in the spots.
They're going to have to maneuver in a way that whoever, I don't know who the GM is over there, but whoever that is going to earn his money to form that team.
You're going to have to replace Bakhtiari. Bakhtiari's a guy but he gets hurt every single year. Well, and every time that guy goes down, it hurts that team.
I think what the Packers' plan is, I'm looking at it from a holistic view, right? I'm looking at it from top down. I think what their plan is that they're going to get another stud wide receiver in the draft. That's a rookie deal. And then this draft is so deep up front at the offensive line position that they might just spend their next 4 or 5 picks picking offensive linemen.
Okay, and
their defense is solid. And that's with having their top DBs out.
Time out.
And then they're going to have to hope the bank that everything hits.
I hear you.
How many of those first-round offensive linemen are going to be game-ready and Super Bowl caliber O-linemen first season?
None. Nate Solder was.
None.
There's always a chance. They have a good coaching staff. They've had, the coach has had 3 years that I think he's proven himself he's an excellent coach. Even with a great quarterback, so it's one of those where, does the coach or the...
And that I think Aaron Rodgers...
They complement each other fine.
And Aaron Rodgers raves about his eyebrows. Right. He wasn't doing it about the last guy.
Look, this is it. They've made their bed. I think this is going to work out for them this year. I think it has the chance, obviously, to work out for them next year. I think your contention is done by year 3. I think there's still a shot he can last. Once again, I don't think it's injuries that'll make it. I think it's just Aaron Rodgers is a weird dude, and he might want to, next year Jeopardy is an option against some weird shit.
Now, here's my thing. So, if we do the blind test, right? If we do the black out the picture, black out the team, 13-2, 14-2, right? Gets the NFC Championship, whatever. If we eliminate Aaron Rodgers and his picture and Green Bay Packers and their picture from that equation, I think each person at this table takes that blindly. But I think because the name is Aaron Rodgers and it is the Green Bay Packers.
I'm not talking... okay, again, it doesn't matter what name it is to me. To me, any quarterback that's 38 years old, regardless of who they are, where they've been, for me to stake $50 million on them... I hear you, Coach. To me, does not make... again, it doesn't make fundamental sense.
I hear you, but we got...
They could win the Super Bowl next year.
We have inflation. We have 2 MVPs in a row.
We have gas prices going up. I understand. I get it. The XL pipeline that hasn't been open. I understand all these things.
If you look at the salary cap percentages, it's actually lower than the deals of the prior quarterbacks. You can look it up, but I'm pretty sure my... idiot savantness, it's that the other top paid quarterbacks were between 30 and 35% of the salary cap. He's only at 25%.
I'm going to say it again, and I'm going to reiterate it. Those guys that were in that situation broke their teams, and all of their teams subsequently sucked right after they signed those break the bank contracts. So to me, it doesn't matter what you tell me that, it's lower. No. Those guys that signed the 30, Ryan, Atlanta sucks.
Went to a Super Bowl.
They suck.
But they went to a Super Bowl.
And they lost.
But the choke job, whatever, irrespective.
I get it.
But you got to the dance. But it
was 1 year. Okay, they got to the dance 1 year. Haven't been there again. They've sucked every year since.
Okay, continue. Okay. But they went there.
Again.
And he was an MVP.
But it doesn't matter.
I understand.
Seattle, the Seahawks. They broke the bank with our boy Russell. And subsequently, had to get rid of all the defensive guys. They couldn't sign.
I hear you. I hear you.
All I'm saying to you is that when you invest that kind of money, that kind of stupid money, it ripples the rest of the team. It's like you mentioned a minute ago. It becomes a domino effect. 1,000%. Just like with oil prices. And oil, it's a domino effect.
Why are we going with innuendos here?
No, I'm just saying it affects everything down the road. That's all.
And at the end of the day, every team does it. The only team that did not do it, and the only player that has not done it is basically Tom Brady. I don't know why these owners, these people keep doing the same thing over and over.
7?
Yeah.
Six with one team, and then the 7th with the last one.
Got it.
And that's all because he knew that if I make all the money and nobody else gets paid, we're not good.
We need video.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, I think it's going to work out.
Okay.
For, like I said, the first year.
So
I think more, I want to go now and touch base on Coach Gill said about Mr. Wilson.
Right. So
Now that he moved on to another team.
Segue. Okay. Jumping from one prima donna to the other prima donna. Okay. Russell Wilson gets traded to the Broncos. The Broncos get Russell Wilson and a 4th-round pick. And the Seahawks get Drew Lock, Noah Fant, Shelby Harris, 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and a 5th-round pick. Woo! Talk to me.
They stole Russell Wilson.
Do you think that was a steal?
Oh, for sure.
Everybody
he
says
warranted at least 3 first-rounders.
That's what our boy Orlovsky says on ESPN.
At least
I've heard.
Drew Lock. Come on.
He's a good second-string quarterback.
Sure.
He'll be all right.
But he's just there. That was just,
I
hey,
want
we
to
got
know what their plan is. I want to know are they going to go like Kenny Pickett or like Corral? Like what's going on here?
I think they have a shot at this guy. It's Pickett, right?
Pickett, Pittsburgh.
I think he's the guy that they go after, or they're obviously probably going to target a quarterback now.
Well, my concern with them going after Pickett, as much as I like him, as much as I think he can play ball, they get bad weather in Seattle, and his hand size is an issue with rain and fumbles
Coach,
and stuff like
he
that.
played in Pittsburgh.
No, but the problem is if you take a look at it, when he's played in bad and inclement weather, he's fumbled the ball.
Okay,
How about the North Carolina kid?
Him, I love.
Oof.
That guy for
Howell's
me.
a diamond in the rough.
I would really like if they can pick up Howell in a second round pick or third. To me, that's the guy.
This is the type of stuff that's going to get one of these guys that should be a second round. They're going to get picked at the 9th because now desperation maybe of wanting to pick up quarterback. So I'm just saying.
I don't think
Would it be terrible if they picked that kid at 9?
Yeah. Howell's not a first rounder. Okay. Now, in my opinion, he's going to get there.
Their second round pick is at 40.
Yes.
He gets at 40?
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes. There they can. And they can even maneuver and move up a couple more, whatever. And they can pick them up if they're worried
first round or
about
something.
Exactly. If somebody's trying to, if they feel somebody's getting. But again, I think he's been overlooked enough that kid, now him, I would, and he would fit perfectly in that offense.
And the consensus is Pickett's the first quarterback off the board.
Correct. Now again, his
Is
hand
that the
size
consensus?
Yes.
I mean,
I don't know. I didn't follow the combine this
That's what
weekend.
all the draftniks say.
okay.
They're saying Pickett because again, he is
Corral
good.
got hurt, right? As well.
Corral got hurt, which brought it down some.
But
back to Russell.
Back to Russell, though. I once again, something we were talking about before. This is also something I think this is going to be really good for like 3 years. This could be the Peyton Manning 4 years that the Broncos had, but better because Manning by the end was a noodle. I still think Russ has it in him. Yeah, the most sacked quarterback. I just think he's one of those tough guys that just keeps getting up. Yes, the Ben Roethlisberger comparison earlier I heard that he will eventually, he's a mobile quarterback. I just think you get 3 years of this guy playing at the top level. The only thing is, it's a gauntlet of a division.
Listen, you know why I've never really drived with Russell Wilson is because he's the ultimate cheeseball. The guy is, and I scrubbed it up. You would be proud of me.
I love him.
He's extremely cheesy. He is the chotch bag of all chotch bags.
Oh.
However, on the field, the guy makes it happen. So he inks this deal. The offensive pieces that the Broncos have, they have Jerry Jeudy, they have Sutton, they have Gordon, and they have Javonte Williams, who's the second-year back out of North Carolina, who is an absolute stud coming out, right? That's, we talked about Howell, right? That was his complement in the backfield along with the other back that they had. So those pieces right there, you have 2 legitimate receivers and 2 very, very good running backs bordering on top-tier running backs because they're both, Gordon's got some mileage on him, but Williams might be that stud coming out this season. He might have a breakout season. Their weakness, and it's glaring, is their offensive line. Okay, they were what our producer AC brought up earlier, that they were 21st overall.
Okay. Our producer was, again, overstretching the situation.
Semantics.
He got excited. He got excited. He saw some PFF crap, okay, and jumped all over it, okay? I corrected him and let him know that, yes, they're not a top 5 offensive line, but they are middle of the pack. They're way better than Seattle's, okay? With that being said, Drew Lock and the other guys that they had hold the ball there forever. Don't throw the ball well. Russell throws the ball quicker. They're also going to, remember, you've got Hackett from Green Bay. You have a little bit more mobile. They're going to move him around, et cetera, et cetera. Again, I think they got a good deal in terms of getting Russell. I do concern myself with he's 33. All these guys that are 33, 34, they use mobility as one of their facets, to me, concerns me. Because the older they get, the slower they get.
This is right around the time where they start to slow down. Correct.
He already got hit last year in the hand. He's had a couple of injuries here and there. So again, I go back to, and I hate to harp on it, once you hit those mid-30s, you're not the same quarterback. You don't have the same abilities. You don't have the same mobility. And every time you get hit, it's different. It feels a little bit more. Monday's a little different.
Oh, 100%.
Now than it was when you were 27.
So, and you brought up Nathaniel Hackett, and I think that's a phenomenal point because his resume speaks to his ability to lean on the skills of the quarterbacks that he has, which in his time as an offensive coordinator, those quarterbacks have been mediocre or very young at those times, right? So he was the offensive coordinator with the Bills, okay? He had Thad Lewis, E.J. Manuel, Jeff Toole, okay? And they were pretty, passing offense was 29th, but he kind of transformed it into a run-heavy offense at that time. So he has the ability to adapt and mold. Jacksonville Jaguars, he was offensive coordinator there for 2 or 3 seasons, and they went to the AFC Championship with, what's his face?
Bortles.
Blake Bortles, the screen king from UCF. So they went to the AFC Championship there, and they were one corner route away. Bortles steps into that from going to the Super Bowl, okay? And then Green Bay Packers, of course, you have the most talented quarterback in NFL history that he was under, so that kind of helped his resume a little bit there too. But he has the ability to mold to what he has, and that's the point. So that's a huge plus. If I'm Nathaniel Hackett, what do I know? I'm just a high school football coach. Lean on that running game, okay? Work on that play action, like Coach said. Move the pocket. Let Russell Wilson do what he does best and move. Okay? Now, serious O-line issues, they need to address that in the draft. Maybe they address it in free agency as well. Let's see what happens there. I'm with the Grizz here. They have a phenomenal 3 to 4 year run. But the difference is that division, quarterback-wise, is absolutely stacked right now.
It's not just that division, though.
The whole AFC.
The whole AFC is loaded with the top quarterbacks.
To quote you, Coachy, earlier when we were off air and we were doing our show prep, that division is going to be a bloodbath, and it's going to be phenomenal.
No, the West is going to be a bloodbath. And again, I'm a Raiders fan, so I understand how that division works. And we're going back in time where we had 20, 30 years ago, maybe a little bit longer than that, really 3 or 4 good quarterbacks that were studs in their game and did everything the right way. That division is now shaping up into that. But again, the conference in itself is going to be extremely talented. Extremely talented.
Would you say they have the best defense, the Broncos, in the division, though?
Again, and that is something that I'm glad the Grizz brought up. Yes. Now, will they be able to maintain that defense? I'm not sure if they kept the coordinator. I don't know what they're doing on that side of the football.
Von Miller, I heard, is coming back.
Maybe.
Again,
well, if you're an aging outside linebacker rush guy, would you not want to stay next to Aaron Donald and just go ham?
But if not, and you're going to come back home.
And they have one of the best.
I'm just saying, I like him as a coach on the field type of player.
They have one of the best defensive backfields in the NFL. They are a solid defense.
I'm just saying the rest of the conference is tough. I'm just saying that now the rest of the conference has to. Oh man, the Broncos are on board now too. I'm just saying he's gonna have a lot of good games there. I think next year they have a chance to finish second in the division. And I think remember with the new playoff rules that you get 7, the whole division can make the playoffs.
They named the Giro Evero the DC in late February.
I'd have to look.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
My thing is, my issue with all that is that number one is new quarterback, new offense, new coach.
It's going to take a season. It's going to take a season.
It takes time.
It will.
Same thing with the Raiders. New coach, new offense.
However, I will tell you this. I think that this is the situation that Wilson has been looking for because he knows that he's going to be in a position to have a lot of input of what he wants to do.
The other 2 teams in that division will be loaded again, will be coached by their coaches again with the same defenses, which the LA Charger defense started coming on better in the end of the year. Both kind of stayed healthy for.
Oh, the Raiders have a new coach.
That's what I'm trying to say. That's why I said you got Kansas City.
Oh, I'm saying Kansas City's your
so that's what I'm
number
saying.
one team.
You've got Kansas City and you've got the Chargers. To me, are the top teams, and now the Raiders and the Broncos have to gel, come together. I don't know if they're 10-win team. Listen, to win that division.
How many wins did the Broncos have this year?
Listen, to win that division. 8, right? To win that division and to come in second in that division, you've got to win at least 11 now.
Right.
Because it's a 17-game season.
Correct.
So you got to go 11-6. I don't know if those guys are going to get 3 games better.
So to answer everybody's question, the Broncos were 7-10. They were last in that division. Chiefs were 12-5. Raiders were 10-7. Chargers were 9-8. Broncos were 7-10.
You had 10 games, got you second. So, I think they win 10 games next year. I think they finish second.
Now, going back to the defensive
side
of the ball.
You might have to put a little side money on that, boss.
Not a problem.
Going back to the defensive side of the ball. I knew that Evero had a stint in San Francisco and Green Bay. I just didn't know what the situation was there, but he was a safeties coach for the Rams between 2017 and 2020. Secondary coach and passing game coordinator for the Rams in 2021. And now he just got hired as a defensive coordinator. So very thin in terms of experience because before that, it's assistant and quality control work. Remember, when the bullets are flying, man, it's a different situation.
Especially
as a secondary-minded DC.
Putting the package together,
right,
and trying to get those guys. And those guys are good. Like I said, they've got a great defensive backfield. But now it's establishing the whole defense. 100%. And what they want to do and what scheme he's going to run, et cetera, et cetera. It's going to take time. That's why I'm not quick to jump on them or the Raiders.
Right.
Do I like both hires? Yes, I like everything that's being done. But it takes time for them to really get going.
We're not going to know till week 8. Let's just call it what it is.
And again, I really do think that the Chargers get much better from here quicker than the Broncos do.
I agree.
And the Raiders are at least starting a step ahead. Now, whether they can get second place, I just don't think so. Maybe they can because of strength of schedule. But again, they had a 500 schedule per se, 7-9, right? Right, 7-9. Was it or
7-10?
They were 7-10.
Remember, we had that extra game.
Right, 7-10. So again, it wasn't too far off. So they're not going to get a cakewalk.
Right.
They're going to get one of those middle of the road schedules.
Well, I mean, the schedule in football is the easiest schedule. You get 14 games already automatically every year, no matter what your record is. Told.
But that is
correct.
Depending on your.
No, but they have
it's
the best.
It's depending on your.
It's depending on your record.
No, it's depending on your strength of schedule.
Yeah.
Yes.
Depending on your schedule.
They have the easiest schedule in their division because they play all the last place teams in every division that they play.
Because they were last in their division.
Correct.
Right.
So they play the easiest team. But like I said, 14 out of your 17 games are predetermined regardless of your record for like the next 5 years.
Yeah, because you play each team in your division twice, and then you have a division.
You play
an opposite
4 teams
divisional
from another division.
Right.
You play.
But that's not set. But that's what's not
that's
set.
Yeah.
No,
you
but
play,
it's not set who
if
you're playing.
If the AFC West plays the AFC East, you play all 4. That's set. The only thing that's not set are the 2 teams that would have finished last year from the AFC South and the AFC North that they have to play. So they're going to play the last place team of both those teams. And now the caveat is you play the 4 teams from the NFC every year from a division. The extra game has given you now an extra NFC, like an extra team from the other conference.
Right, an extra NFC.
But anyway, the point is that you know what else is the NFL? Every year you have a team that should be this, and they end up going 5-12. I just think it's the Chargers. You always think they're going to have a good team. They regress. Teams like this happen to me. I'm just taking a shot in the dark by saying that. I just think Russell Wilson will be
Reinvigorated,
He'll be like,
rejuvenated.
hey,
it'll be. I'm coming. That mountain's air, that mountain fresh air is gonna give him.
Of course,
he's gonna grow. He's gonna grow a beard. He's gonna go full Colorado. He's gonna go
John
full Grizz. He's gonna give me Grizz.
And they want
to. Can I just a quick observation here, right? Aaron Rodgers makes his decision. He inks his deal, and then almost immediately they're like, "Okay, we got Russell Wilson." So just goes to
they
show
wanted
you.
Rodgers.
No, but they said, according to what I read today, the Broncos have been in negotiations with Seattle for more than 2 weeks.
I'm saying they wanted Rodgers
for more than 2 weeks.
Everybody wanted Rodgers.
Again,
I mean, it's a solid plan B. Like,
listen, at the end of the day, it's all a gamble.
Yeah.
It's all a gamble.
And speaking of,
segue, it's all a gamble.
So speaking of, we're talking about Calvin Ridley here, right? The dude had to take some time off. He had mental health issues, right? He had some serious anxiety.
He needed a reset.
He needed a reset. He wanted to come back stronger.
Sometimes I need to refresh the gambling site too.
While in this situation, he needed to separate himself so much from football that the dude dropped a $1,500 18 parlay.
No, it wasn't just an 18 one. I want to say it was a 4-team and an 8-team. It was 2 of them. However,
so parlays.
Do you know where
plural.
do you know where he was when he did this?
Ooh.
You got the answer. Where was he? Where was he?
305 Miami.
He was in the state of Florida, in the 305, and guess what he downloaded? Ooh. Yes, go ahead, son.
Oh, got it. The Hard Rock app that was open for like a month.
Hard Rock app, and you know what the Hard Rock app has to do?
Oh, I think the other.
Do you know what they have to do?
You tell me, Coach.
Brother,
I'm all ears.
They have to turn in all their info to the NFL.
Oh.
And if they get Calvin Ridley.
Hey, I bet you it really said Ridley.
That name sounds familiar.
He couldn't have gone to anybody he knew and say, yo, I got this parlay. Can you put it through for me?
And it went right to those guys and they said, yeah, bro.
I bet you his email address was rridley18@gmail.com.
God bless him.
Listen, man, I'm sympathetic to people that have issues, and if you really like. But I got no sympathetic for the worst disease of all. Dumb.
For stupidity?
Stupidity. We call it different words. I have several words that cannot be said on here for justifiable reasons.
We both do.
But I mean, call me. Hey, I'm playing that every day, bro. I do parlays all the time. You let me know. I got you, bro. Call me. But don't put it in yourself, man.
And the worst part about it is that he doesn't even back off of it.
So here's my thing.
He doesn't even tweet and go, man, I messed up. No.
Oh, it was just $1,500, bro. It was just $1,500. That's all it was.
And here's my thing. Like, I think we've done a phenomenal job of talking about and exploring the topic of mental health on this show since its inception. I think we've done a phenomenal job of it and being level-headed about it. And
most of us.
Well, not to get through it. Like,
I don't know about myself. Go ahead.
But I'm saying, like, every single person here has had their own mental health episodes that they've had to deal with, and God knows. Like, listen, every time you got to see somebody every now and then. But my brother, you can't go public, but saying that you need a break and that you're going to come back better than ever. You need to kind of get away from football to come back better. And then the first thing you do, my guy, for the app that was open for, I think, literally within that same week that you took a break.
But you don't
I find out that they closed this app because of you, sir.
Now,
right?
I will give it to him.
I was having fun on that.
Now, I will give it to him. He did put for his team to win, so kudos to you, sir.
But it doesn't matter.
You're still betting on the
Pete Rose did
game.
the same thing.
Now,
doesn't matter, man. You just can't do that.
Can't do that.
That's integrity, man.
Now, integrity of the game. I get it. I get what the implications are for this. Jay Williams on Get Up this morning with ESPN did bring up a great point that it is egg on the face of the NFL where you suspend this guy for the entire 2022 season, but you have individuals with history, with a domestic violent charges, with histories of domestic violence, and they only get 6 games.
That sounds great. Can I say something? Can I tell you something?
I get it, Coach.
Okay, no, you don't get it. You don't get it. Because that same guy.
Boy, are you screaming at me?
That same guy.
And he's pointing. He's pointing.
That they talk about that, yes, he's had the domestic issues, and I get that. That is off the field, and that's an issue that the police need to take care of, should not be allowed, etc., etc. If that same guy on Sunday drops a pass, you're not going to wonder if he did it because he played his under prop.
1,000%.
You're not going to worry about, did he take the over or the under? Did he bet against his team or
did he slow down to not score the touchdown to get tackled? I get it.
So again, what the domestic violence cop out, or reasoning?
But it's not a cop out.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I'm trying to show this equivocation of what we value more.
No, we don't. It's a justification. We're talking about what those guys are doing off the field. Okay, there are repercussions with the law. There's repercussions that come off of suspensions, which cost them money. If it happens again, you may get kicked off the team or the league. When that guy, like I said, on Sunday, drops a pass, you're not sitting in your house thinking, man, I wonder if that had to do with domestic violence. No,
understand
the integrity of the game has to be about that. Now that gambling, hold on. Now that gambling has found a home with
100%
the NFL, and it's being legalized across the country.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. I agree with you. I'm just playing devil's advocate in the sense of, here's what I'm saying. In the sense of, we're talking about a legal activity versus something that's always and forever going to be frowned upon and is illegal. And
that's why the law takes care of that.
And you see the difference.
That's why the law. Again,
I agree with you.
I understand.
But
that's why I'm trying to say.
I'm playing devil's advocate in that situation.
And I'm letting you know why all these guys that are talking all that smack now.
I get you.
Are full of it.
I hear you.
Because again, the law takes care of that, and then now the NFL law needs to take care of this. And just like Pete Rose, and I'm one of the biggest Pete Rose fans ever. I was a Big Red Machine fan. I can name all the players on the Big Red Machine. Pete Rose was one of my favorite guys. Loved him as a manager. I thought he was a stud. I'm still kind of upset that he hasn't been allowed to at least go back to the Hall of Fame.
Just like Stabler, just like what they did to Stabler.
But I get it. He's been banned.
Yeah.
Okay. If you go back into the history of the NFL, every player that bet on it, Alex Karras, Horning, one of the DBs a couple years ago, they got suspended for a full year. All of them got suspended for a full season. That is the pow. Oye, you do it again, we kick you out.
They're lucky they're not gone at the first time.
Correct. Thank you.
I'm hearing all of this. I couldn't be any more in agreement with you, Gil, and I agree. You got to play a little devil's advocate just to have this conversation.
I'm not disagreeing with Coach. I'm not.
I take it as
with the other guys.
If a domestic violence, anything that's done where the law is involved, that's the law. Now, if you're a prudent owner, I wouldn't want to have a guy that beat his wife. I wouldn't want to have this kind of guy staining, but that's still up to me.
Amen.
Because the law takes care of that, because you have to allow the law to work its way out, whether he's going to be bashed in the court of public opinion, you have to allow the law to take care of it. And then even after the law says, he's cleared of that, you as the team can still say, you know what, we still don't like what you did. We're going to have to let you go. But when it comes to the gambling, when it comes to betting on a sport, and that's the last thing that you have, that you're watching, and you think, I'm watching something pure. I'm watching something that if we want to watch something that's, we got WWE, we got other things that are set up. If you want to do that, there's plenty of that option. But we're watching sports, which at the end of the day gives you the most amazing feelings because it's supposed to be legit and it's supposed to happen at the moment, and that's important. And if you screw that up, this happens to you. And he's lucky, like I said, he's in the NFL with it's only a year. If you're in baseball, you're banned forever. The greatest hitter of all time can't even come back. But that also goes with the fact that the guy lied forever about it and ever, and finally one day came about. Maybe, who knows, if he would have been honest day one, he gets allowed in 10 years later.
Yeah, and back then you didn't have apps.
Right.
Back then it was, I'm going to call the Grizz.
Straight up,
Hey,
hey.
Grizz, well, listen, I need to put this.
Yeah.
Okay, I had a book. So
anyways, the point is that you can't do that. And then after saying that you're going to take some time for this mental, and something that's serious that a lot of players, like the Brandon Marshalls, like other guys that I watch, that, bro, they're taking this serious. And,
it stains, it stains the idea of a mental issue.
Yeah, now you're going to give fire to the people that hate on
that question.
And be like, oh, he didn't, he wasn't having a mental break. He just wanted to take time off so he could go gamble.
Right, it takes away from...
is key here.
Correct. It takes away from the legitimacy of those who actually have mental issues.
I'd be very upset.
And again, that's why
I guess where I speak to, and again, I agree with what you're saying, and I 100% wholeheartedly agree, playing devil's advocate. I think where it speaks to is the swiftness of their action for this versus
because this
is clear
cut.
They drag their feet with other things.
Because this is clear cut.
I agree with you.
You gamble. Let's see
the other side of it.
This is clear cut because you cannot put in question if the guy's foot didn't drag his foot.
No, 1,000%.
That's the thing.
You're right.
Like Grizz just said, you're watching that and you see these guys, man, and they make these incredible catches. All of a sudden, the guy's got the out route to catch it and go out of bounds and stop the clock, and oh no, he got tackled in bounds. Did he do that on purpose?
1,000%.
And that's what you can't put in question. That's where what we talked about, moral integrity and the game integrity.
Right.
That's the game integrity cannot be tarnished.
If we lose that, we lose everything.
And that's what happened again in baseball many years ago.
There won't be a league.
Shoeless Joe
Jackson.
Exactly.
There will not be a league that you can have people that will cause domestic and other kinds of law messed up things because you won't have a league. Nobody's ever going to be. For that, we watch the XFL.
No,
that's what you want.
Listen,
like we said now.
Individuals and administrators, you deal with it every day at our level.
And like I said now, and I said a few minutes ago, gambling has gotten to a moment now in time.
It's socially accepted
all over.
Correct.
All the states are legalizing it. Correct. Every sport.
Oh.
Heck, a few years ago we had the referee in NBA.
They should be even harder.
That he got
Donahue.
Donahue because he was setting.
No, 100%.
No,
like
I'm just saying. That's once you get that gambling
all of that.
Again, throwing it out there
has made this take so long to get to the point.
Yes.
That we're at.
Just throwing it out there for
totally.
those who see it on the other side of the situation. Now,
you know what's good for him? At least he has another year now to relax his mind and get himself
to be refreshed
and be ready.
Yeah,
to
so
miss
he's going to
football.
have plenty of time.
It kills Matt Ryan, but hey.
And the explosive situation, and I just want to close it on this. Jordan Davis, 6'6" defensive lineman out of Georgia, running a 4.82 official, 4.78 official 40 at 6'6", 341 pounds. Okay? What Kirby Smart's doing over there is recruiting Mack trucks that drive like Mini Coopers.
And it's not just recruiting, it's building them. Because he's bringing those kids in and he's giving them the weight room training, the training table. All that they're doing is to get those kids balling.
One of our players tells us this on Monday, Coach, did you see this guy run this 40? Like, oh my God, like what's going on there? I go, what's going on there is Kirby Smart is recruiting offensive linemen, Mack trucks that drive like Mini Coopers, and defensive linemen who are bears that dance like cats. That's what they are. That's what these monsters are.
They definitely are.
Okay? So we're going to leave it right there. We're going to come back at you with some more heat on the week of sports and the weekend in sports. So we'll be right back at you real quick. Welcome back to Two Coaches, One Grizz. We're going to start right where we left off with another form of craziness in college basketball here. We had some upsets. We had some craziness. We had dudes to hit last-second shots to get to the dance. Coach, take it away for us.
Well, This is championship week, so all the conferences are playing their conference championships this week. We already have some teams that have already punched their tickets to go to the big dance. We've got the Murray State Racers, the Longwood Lancers, Loyola of Chicago with Sister Mary. Right, I think that's her Sister Mary. She's 104. No, she's 104.
She old.
Yeah, she old. You got the Georgia State Panthers.
Was she around when basketball was invented?
Yeah,
We're right,
she was
pretty
like,
close.
she was hanging out with Naismith.
She was tying the peach basket, and waiting for Naismith.
I think they went out for a cup of coffee.
They could have. We have Georgia State Panthers from the Sun Belt. We have the team that hit the shot of the week.
Madness.
The Chattanooga Mocs.
Wow.
In overtime against Furman.
What a shot.
With .nothing seconds. That guy shot it.
Down
Three dudes in his grill.
No, it was crazy. Down by two, and what a shot.
He didn't get the shot. He was calling for it at the end of regulation, and at the end of OT said,
"What an incredible shot!"
It doesn't matter the teams. This is March, man. This is why we watch.
Well, let me give you a little more madness now. In the ASUN, you have the Jacksonville State Gamecocks. Ooh. They'll be going. However, the team that won the tournament is Bellarmine. However, since Bellarmine is on a 4-year transition...
Show cause penalty?
No, they're on a transition from D2 to D1.
Not allowed to go to the
tournament. They're not allowed to go.
What?
Yes. But it gets better.
What?
Because the team that they beat, which was the Jacksonville Dolphins from the state of Florida...
What?
Beat Jacksonville State last night in the semi.
What?
Those guys don't go. It's Jacksonville State that goes. Go figure.
So hold on.
Because they won the regular season.
They won the regular season.
They're just backing it.
They won the regular.
This is why we need a video.
They won the regular season.
How do these places that's a city, Jacksonville, Jacksonville State? I don't get it.
It was again. It's
insanity.
It's ridiculous.
Sir.
So yeah, Jacksonville State gets in because they won the regular season trophy championship.
You gotta have it mean something.
I know we're live.
Gotta have it mean something.
I know we're live here, and I'm just looking at this at AP Top 25. Does Purdue not have a number next to them? They should be 10, but are they tied for 9th? Is that what's going on here?
They probably.
Oh yes, they have. They have the same amount of points. Got it. We're gonna move on. Continue.
We have the Wright State Raiders, which, by the way, I was able to jump on their bandwagon today.
Hey, you go.
And they won 72-71 over Northern Kentucky. Took a money line. We got the Delaware Blue Hens with the win over UNC Wilmington tonight. And we got the Bryant Bulldogs that were able to squash Wagner. Those guys are all in the big dance. Oof. You've got tonight's championship games are the Gonzaga Bulldogs right now playing St. Mary's, and they are in the lead by 5, 29-24. Again, St. Mary's just beat them a few nights ago. But I think Gonzaga should win today. They're favored by 12. I think sooner or later they do pull away.
They will lock up the number 1 overall seed in the tournament.
Correct.
I'm thinking St. Mary's is going to be like a number 5 seed.
They could be. They'll be 26, 25-7. They are one of the better teams. I think, again, like we talked about earlier, that for the first time in the history of the WCC, there's going to be 3 or 4 teams to make it this year, which haven't made it before.
They have currently St. Mary's is in the Midwest bracket as a 6th seed.
I think, as we've talked about it for the last few weeks, a team like Gonzaga, 20 years ago, getting their name in, now they're basically the Duke where they play. They're basically, a name brand. And every team in that conference had to start recruiting, had to start getting better. Because if we're gonna be playing with a team that's consistently top 5 in the country.
If we want to keep it under double digits.
Exactly. And year after year, they've only gotten better.
So check this out. And Grizz, you had a couple good calls here that I recall from last week's episode. We got Gonzaga, Kansas, and Arizona right now as projected number 1 seeds. And Baylor as the other in the South as a number 1 seed.
I took Kansas to win the Big 10.
Okay.
12.
Big 12 tournament. I like them to win. I think Baylor's playing good basketball. It's going to be that's going to be a great conference tournament. but I'm still not sold on Baylor. We'll see how far they go.
because of the injury.
Correct.
I mean, but that's.
I think they'll be a 2 seed.
That's
after
a little.
all
That's
said
a
and done.
little respect here, right? Giving Baylor the number 1 seed.
They've played well pretty much all season.
Oh,
They
that's
really
your
have.
defending champion. They've played very well still. They did beat Kansas the other day. They're coming back, but they lost a big piece. And that, if they win out the conference title, they'll be the one. You know, the winner of the conference tournament will probably be your one
Right.
seed.
Right now they're
have
sitting
here. You know,
Right now they're sitting at 26-5. I mean, honestly, they haven't lost.
And listen, coach,
you know.
to their credit, like you were saying, you had some big doubts, rightly so, right? And you said if they
won
do
5 in a
these
row.
1 or 2 things and figure this out, they'll
They've
be
won
okay.
5 in a row.
At 26-5, especially after losing their all-world player, like you got to give. You can't not give it to them, right?
Drew has done a great job there. Coach Drew has done an amazing job with that program and with those kids.
Are you okay with those 1 seeds going into it? Gonzaga, Baylor, Kansas, and Arizona.
I do believe. I believe that if Kentucky or Auburn win, which I do believe one of those two will win the SEC, they deserve a number 1 seed.
Got it.
Agreed.
That's why I asked.
That's my opinion.
Arizona's going to get a 1 seed, whether they. I mean,
or in Arizona again as well.
But I'm
if
thinking,
they win the championship.
No, I think even if Arizona doesn't even win the Pac-12, they get a number 1 seed based on their record. I think it's either your. However, Arizona loses like in the quarters, then that opens it up to like having 2 from a conference. But I think at the end of the day, it's Gonzaga, it's Arizona. You said it right, Kentucky or Auburn. If they win, whoever wins the conference tournament, if a Tennessee or Arkansas wins, then I think you have it open for like a Baylor and Kansas.
Correct.
But it'll Baylor and Kansas, and then as always, splitting hairs. But I think I mean it's locked up. The top is Gonzaga, and I just can't wait, man. I love Selection Sunday.
I'm excited.
By the way, Lenardi currently has in the bracket right now projected Miami as the 10th seed for us homers.
Well, it's not bad.
First matchup would be Marquette. That's
It's gonna be a tough. That's gonna be a tough
that's a
matchup.
tough
We're matched up in there. If we win, I believe we would play Auburn in the next round. If they were to win, obviously.
Auburn's a 2, coach.
Right
or
after.
Grizz.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah, and what I love about that is all about matchups. I mean, you see you had like a USC Notre Dame, obviously that's like a football matchup. But like, what I love about the Selection Sunday is how they will match up for the games, for the the TV audience. That's why Thursday and Friday are the best days.
Here, well, for our WKPT crew that listens in, we need to set up.
We'll be getting our bracket started. Selection Sundays in
poker night.
5 days.
Poker night / bracket.
We could probably we could do it all on Sunday. I wouldn't mind.
Hear that. All right, so let's keep it on topic with the basketball. And let's jump into some NBA that I know Grizz has been very excited to talk about here in the last couple of days.
NBA, I'm always the NBA is slow at the beginning. I'm always first month or two. Once
Talk
we get
to me
into
when
January,
NFL finishes.
Yeah,
situation.
just exactly that. It's pretty much that. We start getting the heat in February, All-Star break, which is always, they say, the second half of the season, which is not. It's always the last third of the season, basically. They got 20 to 25 games. But surprisingly enough, not to me, not to our producer Ace, the Heat are in first place in the Eastern Conference. I mean, you want to talk about culture? You want to talk about a team that plays every position from first to your 15th man, to your weight room guy, your strength coach, to the guy who gets the Gatorade, man. This is culture. This team, Spo, most underrated coach in the league, finally getting the love. He was in the top 15 in the 75 year. I'm so glad he got that credit because everybody would say, he won because, he had LeBron and Wade. And my only argument would be like, what coach has never won with stars? So every coach has won with stars. And here we have the Heat, the
Larry
number
Brown.
1 seed. Who?
Larry Brown.
Larry Brown. Yeah, he had a bunch of collective stars, and he went up against a team, which if I remember was the Karl Malone, the Gary Payton-led Lakers with the squabbling Shaq and Kobe. You have to have the perfect scenario for that to happen.
It was Shaq and Kobe.
Huh? Oh, Shaq and Kobe when they were ready to go away from each other.
Shaq won a championship with the Heat.
Huh?
Shaq ended up coming to
Absolutely.
the Heat and
So
winning.
thank you, Larry Brown, for giving me that. But as always,
There's one constant though.
I mean,
there is one constant in the Heat
yes,
that has
Pat
continued
Riley,
throughout.
the greatest architect of all time,
Yes, sir.
as a player, coach, GM. That guy's a winner. The guy knows when to, hold him and when to
Yes.
fold him.
Yes.
Not even the great LeBron was able to deter our Pat. We came back faster than people thought we would after, when we lost LeBron and
and he
we
picked
lost
up
Wade.
the right guy.
Of course.
He picked up the right guy who has the same work ethic, who's a bulldog,
a grinder.
who wants everybody
He
to
wants all
work
the smoke.
hard.
Hey,
He wants all the smoke.
You couldn't have built.
And he
couldn't
wants
have created
to
a
work.
better Pat Riley mold than a Jimmy Butler. I mean, just
Perfect.
And
Perfect.
Every year, they would say that Pat doesn't like getting the rookies or playing the young guys, but over the last 5-6 years, the guy has been getting the young guys, playing the young guys, and finally they're coming to fruition. And I'm giving all the love to the Heat right now. I mean, in the West, we got the Suns, which are probably going to be the team that takes. I think still the Warriors got a chance, but I mean, everybody thought Milwaukee. Here we are with Harden, which I think the toughest matchup now is going to be Harden going to the Sixers. That's going to be our toughest matchup. We won against the Sixers the other day, but Harden didn't play. But
Look,
I take this team as one of the best Heat teams I've ever seen play.
You guys know I'm a Knicks fan. It's well
poor
documented. However, if the Heat make it, right, I'm gonna root for them all the way through. I will. I'm gonna root for the Heat in there. You know what I'm saying? Like I've lived here most of my life. It's all good. I'm gonna root for them if they make it to the playoffs. Let's make it happen. But how can you not root for the Suns, especially when we got Chris Paul there? Like heartbreak last year, being up 2-0. I want that guy to win
always
a ring.
gets hurt.
He deserves it.
He always gets hurt.
He deserves it.
He always gets hurt.
deserves it.
Why? Why does he deserve it? He always gets hurt. Why does he deserve it? He always gets
I'm
hurt.
not gonna
He's because you talk about okay.
I mean, he's a good ball player. He's a good teammate.
You talk about Jimmy Butler being a grinder and a leader of men. That's what Chris Paul is, man. Chris Paul is that grinder. He's literally he's cut from that same.
But he always.
Dare I say he was the original Jimmy Butler before there was a Jimmy Butler.
Stumbles.
He does get called a little bulldog as well.
I get it, but again, he always stumbles at the end. Right when he's about at the precipice, as you like to say, those SAT words you like to use. When he's at the precipice, he
never even got to the
he twists an
conference
ankle.
championship.
He twists an ankle and can't do it.
He'd never been to the conference
Like, I don't
championship.
get it. I don't
besides
get it.
The team he was
You
with
know?
last year.
How is it? How does it work?
Listen.
Only here you get chastised
I don't
for
want,
using
but
like
I don't
very
like how
solid
you bring
and
it up,
appropriate
Frankie. Like
words.
that he deserves. Nobody
He doesn't
deserves anything.
You don't deserve
that
anything.
guy's
As a
great
fan
player.
of sports, you wouldn't root for that guy again.
If he
Right.
stays
Take the
healthy,
heat- take the heat out
Okay,
of
you
it.
know. Listen, do you want me to know? Do you want me to tell you who to me deserved a championship? Who in all sports deserves a championship? Jim Kelly. Jim Kelly took the Buffalo Bills to the Super Bowl 4 times.
No, Coach, I agree with you.
And he could. Now
I
that
agree
guy,
with you.
I get it. You're there. Oh my God, you're there. I get that. Now this, if you get hurt and your team suffers because you get hurt, I'm sorry, bro, you don't deserve anything.
I mean, listen,
Life sucks.
also, I have serious sympathy for the guy because he would have been with Kobe and won himself a few championships if it wasn't for Mr. Stern, God rest his soul, being a douche because they owned the team at that point. And like, how do you allow
collusion.
but how do you allow the other crazy trades to go through and you don't allow that one? Because that was a straight up trade.
But he should have won something with the Clippers then. In that case, with the team they had, I don't feel bad at all for that. Like he actually
But
made
it's
the Clippers.
But when we talk about Oro and we talk
He
about
made the Clippers
you talk about the Chargers.
I don't even know why you're bringing up this thing, and now I have to be a bad guy against Chris Paul, bro. Why are you making me be a bad guy? I like Chris Paul.
Just saying,
just say it would be nice.
I'm rooting for the guy.
It would be nice if he
Now,
won.
if it ends up being
Can you say that? But just say it would be nice if he won.
Yes.
He doesn't deserve it. It would be nice. You said he deserved. No, sir.
Speaking of, they played them all.
The Heat are not in the finals.
You said
against the
deserved.
Suns. I'm rooting for.
You said deserved. You said deserved.
Check
think
the
he deserves
tape,
one.
No,
kid.
it'd be nice if he won one.
That's one of the great
I would like
top
to see,
5 peak point guards of all time.
It would be nice if he won one. I'd like it if he won one.
What?
He deserves nothing.
Ace, hold on. What did I say wrong?
He deserves. He deserves nothing.
No, I want.
He deserves. Hey,
I
good
want
job,
the
bro.
basketball
See you next
savants.
year.
I want his opinion. I want our producer's
But
opinion.
I already
Ace.
have the other opinion. You're wrong.
Damn it, Anthony.
You were wrong. Listen, man. It's nice if he wins. It's all good.
Yes, it would
They
be
have
nice.
an amazing record. They
Yes.
should win.
This is a
should
travesty,
win.
a sham, and a
You're-
mockery.
That would be nice if I saw him win.
a
That
Travis
would be
Shamrock.
nice.
Your adopted team that you're picking to win because since you're a Knicks fan, you're fishing here.
I said I was going for the Heat. I'm rooting for the Heat.
Yes,
if
but
the
in-
Heat
but in
and the
the under-
Suns are in
but
the
in the
finals,
undertone-
I'm rooting for the Heat.
in
I
the
don't know about that
undertone-
now because now you were saying how much that Chris Paul deserves
Because
it. I
F-
think deep down,
F the Warriors.
I think deep down you're gonna want Chris Paul to win instead of the team that usually destroys your team. Why would you want
Okay,
that
that's
team to win?
not the case at all. The Knicks dominated the Heat in the 90s. Okay? Go, check the tape.
Check the tape. Dominated?
Dominated.
What do you mean dominated?
Dominated.
How do you dominate when you
You
win
were
on the last play of the last
Alonzo
play of the
Mourning.
series?
Listen, dominated.
Not dominating. Winning, upsetting, yes, but not dominating.
Dominate.
I do remember dominating you guys the last decade, the winning all the time by multiple points. and all that.
Look, this four,
Like,
we need
winning
one
on an Allen
big man,
Houston shot
and
at the end
we would
is
have
not
dominated the
dominating, it's
Knicks.
choking. You could say choking,
After
but not dominating.
After Carmelo left, this year
Pablo.
plus one more guy would have done. We needed a
The
shooter.
Carmelo
We need a
years.
shooter.
How about
if you
those
two are
years?
down low, Ace will
How
handle
did
the
we
ball.
get to the?
I'm the defensive
There should
guy.
be like 0 seconds worth of talk about the New York Knicks on this podcast because they don't warrant anything.
Again.
Listen.
You see this revisionist history. You see this absolute travesty that's going on here. I said,
Gonna
I'm
be
telling
fun
you,
talking
telling
NBA
you
the rest of
right
the
now
season
that
with
after
these-
Carmelo
with this
left, these four plus a guy would have dominated the Knicks after Carmelo left.
Talk to your boy Stephen A. Smith. See how much he loves the Knicks, man. He gave
Like,
a
I
great
just yelled,
great soliloquy the other day.
Him and his
you and your words.
soliloquies.
Listen,
He needs to worry about his hairline.
right
your-
now,
in your own words.
Right now, let's just finish this.
He needs
up.
to worry about his hairline.
We got a couple weeks left. Big things happening. He play the Suns tomorrow. We'll see if is Chris Paul playing. Will he deserve a chance?
I think
to beat the Heat
he's.
tomorrow?
I think he may be out till playoff time, right?
He might be out till playoff time. So they have to hold. They're about 7 or 8 games ahead of the Warriors. The Warriors are tanking a little bit right now because they don't have players. So they're not going to lose the number 1 seed. But yeah, they're not going to be coming in fresh and all healthy. I still think right now my team, if I'm going to put a little bit of bucks to make a little money, Memphis Grizzlies.
John Morant is an absolute stud.
That guy's becoming.
He's been unconscious.
He's my favorite player right
He's
now.
been unconscious for like 2
mean,
weeks.
outside of obviously my Heat, that guy is amazing. And
He's playing great ball.
I think that's your future right there. I mean, the Pelicans are gonna forever. It's gonna be like the Greg Odom and picking of Durant, or Bowie and Jordan. This is gonna end up like that, man. Because Zion, unfortunately, I don't think we're ever gonna see that guy to his potential.
So I want to bring up something that I heard the other day on the drive to work, and I kind of got frustrated at it. I don't know why, but they were saying that if John Morant, what would be best for the league is if John Morant went to another team. And my frustration, my first thought
year.
was, if that's your first thought, if that's what was best from the league, then why are we having a team in these markets like Memphis? You get what I'm saying?
They said the same thing about Giannis. They said the exact all the lower. It's just that since the NBA, since every all these leagues, they have big cities and they have small cities. So they're always saying that the players should go to the big city, but it doesn't matter. Wherever you are is wherever you are. I think.
Right. It's just But that's just like the high school mentality. Oh, I'm gonna go over here.
That's how it is.
Man. Come on, man.
But it takes a guy like Giannis
Antetokounmpo
stays and wins a title and shut up. And now a guy like Ja is so great. I guarantee he's gonna get. And let me tell you, I don't know about Memphis, but I think Memphis might be a place to hang out. It might not be we were talking earlier, like going to Minnesota or going like a really cold city. I think, somewhere in Tennessee sounds like a fun place. He's going to make that team fun to come play with. And that guy, highlights. He's going to win a title in the next 3 years. That's what I think.
I think they do need one more piece for sure.
I believe they will get it though,
And
because that guy's going to warrant come play with me.
And I will tell you this though, what has helped him in as a rising star is Jamal Murray being hurt this year. Mm-hmm. Because if Jamal Murray hadn't gotten hurt, that's another dude that we would have been saying, like, that might be the next LeBron, Kobe type, Murray? Like
the guy from Denver.
He tore his ACL in the playoffs,
I know,
and he was putting up 50.
I don't think he's like. I think he's having a couple good years, but I don't think
what
you could put him up to like
Grizz?
a LeBron level. No,
Grizz. He was averaging 40 plus in the playoffs before he tore his ACL.
Bro, having an amazing series is one thing.
But he was a rising star in the light of Ja Morant. So if he would have gotten hurt, we would have been talking about Ja Morant and him in the same stratosphere, so to speak, in the same kind of level, tier, whatever you guys like to talk about.
Level, tier. You're caught up with those tiers.
Tier, level.
You're so worried about Lamar.
Echelon.
You're so up, hung up with Lamar. I got you, bro. I got you. You and your tiers.
What word do you want to use? Moving
right along.
What word do you want to use? Venn diagram, circle, sphere.
Talking about dogfights. This past weekend, Colby Covington.
We're going to go there.
Came in, took care of business, dominated Mr. Masvidal. Sadly, Mr. Masvidal looks like he is moving on to the second tier of fighters and a stepping stone. See, that's how you use tier, just to let you know.
No,
he's done.
He's done. You're right. Like what I witnessed was a 25-minute clinic on how to keep the guy to be dominant in a fight, have his back, and control the fight.
He is a grinder. The only reason, as much as Colby talks and as much crap as he talks, because God knows I hate that part of it, but again, like,
it is what it is, Coach.
Like you need heels. It's like wrestling. You got to have a heel. He's the heel. Okay? He's just a really good fighting heel. That guy, if it wasn't because Usman is the champion, Colby Covington would be the guy. And he fights at a pace that is, again, we saw it. When you looked at Masvidal in the fourth round, you didn't think he was completely exhausted. He looked gassed, but you thought, man, if he hits him, he did. He caught him with one,
but and he just couldn't finish. He couldn't get him.
He had nothing.
Couldn't finish.
He just couldn't.
If he hits him like that in round 2, there's a chance.
Correct.
But
yes, first 3 rounds.
But the riding on the back started in the 3rd round when he got him totally on his back.
But
he had him down the first 2 rounds.
Right, but the situation with that is right.
Complete guard.
But what happens is, and what people don't understand is that when you're up against the ring side, when you're up against the fence and you got that body on you, you're fighting his weight, you're fighting his hands, you're fighting everything. Yep.
Right.
So that exhausts you.
And
exhausts
the thing is, Colby Covington was an All-American wrestler at Oregon State. So you know that's where he's going to go. And my frustration is, hey, Masvidal, you don't think that he's going to go fight gone bad on you and you're not, like, work on that. I get Colby that he's older, but punches. My God, man. Like,
Colby also punches. Yeah, but he's a really good, again,
they both know each other.
Correct. Yes.
They fought, practice all the time.
Listen.
One guy's going to come out on top. The younger guy who's faster won.
And the other side of it is, too, and we seem to forget, George Masvidal was fighting bare knuckles here in backyards 20 years ago.
Yeah, and he has 50-plus fights on his MMA.
Masvidal has 51 official fights.
20, 21?
16 and 3.
Guy was 35 and 15.
He's got 20.
He's 35 and 16.
25.
30 more fights
his official
on him,
record
man.
is 35 and 16 right now.
Correct. Yeah.
And not for nothing, it would have been better if he would have slept in some of those losses like he did against Usman.
Correct.
But he's a tough guy. He takes it to the end, so that's even more beating.
They get grinded
That guy at 50 years old is going to be scramble.
Hold on. With the Usman fight, to Masvidal's credit, he took it on short notice.
But that was the second one. The first one was not. And again, that's not where I'm going. My what I'm trying to say is, and which is what I said last week when we talked about this fight, that people overlook Colby because A, he is a heel. Nobody likes him. I get it. And number 2, he has fought Usman, and Usman has dominated him.
Yeah, like you're not gonna get any better than what he did in the last fight. It was close, but even then, close is nowhere. That's another thing. How great is that guy Usman? Those 2 guys that fought, he based them up twice each. Nobody's close to that guy.
Nobody. Now,
what do you think about the Poirier?
His next fight, I was just going to say, the next fight against the Diamond, that's going to be a great fight.
Yeah.
That's going to be solid. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Dustin's a good all-around fighter as well. I just think that...
And heavier, though, right?
There might be more. Yeah, he might have to cut down weight. And I think, but Kobe, I think, might have more experience.
Can I make
and he gets into people's heads.
Can I make a comment?
He really does
on that. I think with the Poirier situation, I think motivation might be a factor too, because in the last couple fights, you have seen Poirier make comments after the fact of like, this is not fun for me anymore. I don't do this. Blah 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 blah.
Correct, because he needed to fight Conor. He did.
No, I'm
he
saying
needed to fight Conor.
But Conor was a revenge fight for him.
Right.
This will be different.
No, but I'm saying he's already fought a guy that's a talker gets into your head.
No, he's better at that. He's better at that. It's just Colby's a douchebag.
Of course.
Colby's just I want him
laid out.
He's disgusting.
Yeah,
he's just disgusting.
I saw the preview of him talking about the gym, about the other people in the gym, and what he said about those guys was despicable. Man. Like, I don't care anything about, bro. Like, why are you talking? I made these people. They're nothing. I mean, that's pretty. Like, douche. Capital D, yo.
But that's what he does.
I need that guy to go to sleep.
And
I need him to go to sleep.
And that's what sells his fights.
I know, of course.
Because next fight, you're going to watch it.
Fantastic.
You're going to be in there. You're being there. I mean, you want to see him.
I love, like, the Jake Pauls. I need these guys to go to sleep. I will watch every fight until I see bedtime.
And the problem is that this guy can fight.
I know. That's unfortunate.
Now, in a more general sense, that the card for UFC 272 was a great card all the way around.
Yes, it was.
I thought it was a phenomenal fights all the way around.
It was.
The one...
Dos Santos.
Even the co-main event, Moicano on short notice.
Yes.
That guy took a beating and kept... And even in the 5th round, he hurt.
They kept asking him, are you good? They wanted to throw the towel at him.
Can you see out of your left eye?
Now, time out.
Yeah,
I can see. Now, and these comments were made like, these dudes are warriors. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to give up. Referee, doctor, corner... Come on, man.
Look,
the guy was
I don't know if we brought
pummeled.
it up last week, but the week before, where that fight, the guy looked like he lost 10 pounds of blood. Like, how are you not... that whole...
First,
I don't know how you... There's the guy's just spewing blood.
If you take a look at the injury...
In this fight, that Dos Anjos fight...
It was
and
a gash he could... But when the guy's total face is all red, you wipe it off and 2 minutes later it's all red again... Oh, yeah, that sprinkler's not turning off,
this
man.
Fight was domination, coach.
Okay.
6 feet away doesn't mean anything anymore?
No. COVID's over.
It's over?
COVID's done.
Okay, how about AIDS, anything?
We're past that.
That looked like 1,000 different...
They get tested beforehand.
I know that, bro. But that looked like 1,000 different CDC complaints right there ready to go, man. Like, this is like, sure, just let the guy swim in his pool blood.
Maybe I'm adverse to that because I was used to Dusty Rhodes and Ric Flair, and they used to cut their foreheads. Exactly, you see all the blood.
Dude, that was insane. But going back, okay, like this week, there's
okay, no, but I want to know what your thoughts on that. Should that stop? Fight. Should that fight have been stopped?
Okay, again, he was coherent. He was wobbly between one round. He was able to catch it back. He spoke. He was clear-minded. He walked well. He took everything that he had to do. Now, the reason that I think the fight can go on and should go on is because, again, Dos Anjos was beating him on the floor. If it was a stand-up fight, and as you saw towards the end of the 5th round or the 5th round itself, Moicano ends up winning that round because he was able to keep it standing and he hurt Dos Anjos. If he would have done a better job of, and again, I said it during the fight, he kept throwing the overhand right. And Dos Anjos would duck, level change, and take him to the ground. Every time he threw uppercut, it changed the fight. He couldn't take him down, and he stopped shooting because he hit him with a few uppercuts. Those are fights within the fight. That's where Moicano loses.
Catch him with one solid situation.
No, you hit him, but now it stops him. Now you keep the fight on your feet. You have a chance to win.
Right.
Dos Anjos' experience came through and won the fight for him. The kid was hurt on a few occasions, but he was never really out of it. Even when he got knocked down really bad, he did a great job of defense, if you notice, and he tied him up, and he moved, and he circled, and he was able to hold on for like a minute and was able to get through that round because he was hurt pretty bad. But he didn't stay there like you see sometimes that they just get pummeled. I don't remember which fight it was earlier. The guy got pummeled.
And I hear it. And I always appreciate your perspective on this because obviously you've watched more. So I just thought like just seeing it from a spectator, learning more about the fight, like wow, it was like throwing the towel, man. Because he's not going to do it himself. And then the ultimate cop-out was the doctor being like, it's reasonable to stop the fight, and then puts it on the ref. The ref's not going to stop it. So it's just a feedback
But it's a ref's
loop.
Call.
Right.
The doctor's call is only
and if I remember correctly,
like
the referee does tell him before one of the rounds, you need to show some fight here, or if not, you have 30 seconds, or if not, I'm stopping the fight.
Correct.
Right.
And that's,
so that
and that
was
is,
at least that was
and
good.
And that
there.
is again, that is the process of it. And if you watched boxing, they come between the round. Hey, if I don't see it, I'm stopping it.
Got it.
Okay?
Yeah.
Hey, listen, even in the Rocky movies, and Rocky says, you ain't stopping nothing. You ain't stop. Okay?
I hear you.
That's how it works.
Now, a positive story that I do want to highlight here on the show is after the Barboza-Mitchell fight, Mitchell wins the fight and then pledges half of his purse, which was $45,000, to helping kids. I'm blanking on where in Oklahoma or Kansas?
Arkansas.
Arkansas. That's what it is. $45,000 to help underprivileged kids. And Dana White.
And the girl that won from the Ukrainian girl that was a huge underdog.
Right. But Mitchell.
It was so,
The great thing was, which I thought was amazing, was Dana White comes in and says, keep your purse. I got it. I'll pay the bill. So that was pretty dope on Dana White's part.
He's a good guy.
So that's good stuff. Like he's firm. He has his beliefs, but he's a good dude at the end of the day.
He does a great job. And again, it's a situation where, and I was hearing it the other day, that has been one of only two sports really that maintained things throughout COVID and allowed us to have an escape of a sport.
Another one was Poirier. When Poirier lost to Oliveira in the title fight, and the first thing Poirier did was go over to Oliveira and says, you tell me the foundation you want me to donate to one of the favelas in Brazil, and I'll do it. And Oliveira and him had a moment there that was awesome too.
He's an excellent guy.
Now I gotta highlight Wifey here because she had a phenomenal comment this week and watching the fight. She's like, I'm watching this, and the females are just so much more technically sound than the guys.
A lot of them are.
And I'm like, I actually agree with her. And she, she's one of those that was dragged in by Coach watching these UFC fights as well. But the Marina Rodriguez Yan Xiaonan fight was dope as hell.
And I told you that was a great one. I told you that's one of my girls that I have. But again, she was minus 250. I just hate laying 250.
Right. Could puncher's chance, Coach. But that was a great fight.
It was. And it was, again, an amazing fight. This Friday, we have another UFC fight night. The main event is Thiago Santos against Ankalev. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his first name. But Russian fighter. It's tough for me because Thiago is a good fighter, really good fighter. La Marreta, as he's called in Brazil. He fought with Bones Jones and gave Bones Jones one of the best fights he's ever had.
Are there any more Habib-led people coming out? Because he has 3 people, right?
Right, yeah.
They're all monsters.
Yeah. They're right. No,
they're all going to take over.
They're excellent.
It's his nephew and his cousins, right?
Yeah, Nurmagomedov.
They're all going to take over the UFC.
That's his
at
nephew,
minus
correct?
650. Yes.
They're all going to take
and then
over.
the other
And then
kid
his 2 cousins.
they're disgusting.
And they all look like him.
Yeah.
They all have the
Yes.
same
Yes.
shit.
Yes.
Hilarious. Sorry, just had to say
No,
that.
it's okay because again, and some of these Russian guys they're just really really good. And I'm watching here and I'm looking at this and I'm looking at Thiago Santos is plus 400 in this fight. And this guy's a championship caliber guy.
And let me make a side note on that because Khabib's thing was when his father passed, he's not going to fight again. He made that promise to his dad because he's the youngest of his brothers, and in that culture, the youngest brother takes on the family and the parents move in with him. So he held good on that promise. He retired, but his legacy is going to live on in the humans that he trains. Because these guys are machines just like him.
They're machines.
So good for him on that part. Like, that was impressive what I saw. Again, yes, his family members, they're all built from the same DNA.
Gives me even more of a reason that guy won't ever come back to fight, because now he has all these other guys under him that he can
right,
teach.
Grizz. I think
and
that
he's a coach
I
now.
think that just adds to his aura, his stature, his legend.
Whatever you want to call it.
Right, because you're 13-0, I'm done. Yeah. You know, and then we're talking about these dudes who are the best.
Dominant. Like, it was no one can fight.
It was domination. Right, across the board.
Correct.
And, great dude.
We never saw the eventual downfall, which would happen to everybody in this sport, obviously.
Well, yeah, his eventual downfall would be 8 years from now.
Exactly. But I'm saying, whenever it would have,
7 years.
He made sure that it would never happen.
Correct.
That's amazing.
The bear.
Correct. The other two fights that I'm looking at on this card coming up Friday is Sodiq Yusuf and Alex Caceres. Alex Caceres is a journeyman. Sodiq is an up and coming fighter. He should dominate the fight. Has reach advantage, has height. But like I said, even though Alex is a journeyman, he puts up good fights. So that should be a good one. And then the third one is Drew Dauber against Terrence McKinney. McKinney's a load. Dauber's a big favorite, but McKinney is a load. He's 12-3. He's big. He's strong. He's won his last 6 matches by knockout. I mean, he's tough. That's going to be a really good, good fight.
Good outlook there for
correct. And then in the undercard, in the prelims, there's a young lady by the name of Sabrina Mazo. Or Sabina, let me make sure what her name is, because I have it on my phone, and it's Sabina Mazo, and she's taking on Maverick. She's really good. Maverick is a prohibitive 3-1 favorite. She's a good grappler. Miranda Maverick, she's American. That's gonna be a good fight. I don't know if Sabino can keep it on the ground. If Mazo can keep it on the ground on her feet. Because she got dominated last fight and ended up getting submitted. If she can keep the fight up on her feet, Mazo has a really good fight and really good chance of winning the fight. That's what I'm looking at. I mean, I don't know if she's at plus money, so I'll probably throw something at it, just a sprinkle, just because she's plus 250. And I don't think it should be a plus 250 fight. She's fought some of the top fighters in that division. But again, it's going to be... The next 4 or 5 UFC presentations are going to be all really, really good.
And I think it just speaks to UFC becoming more and more mainstream as we go along. It's being more accepted. There's more money being thrown on it. You have, these top tier athletes and tacticians going into this sport, and it's just going to get better. Like I feel like these last 3 or 4 events, you can see the quality of the competition. That's
why UFC is better than Bellator, because they do get the cream of the crop. The fighters are really good fighters, and like I said, I really think that the whole COVID situation opened up doors.
Right, because that was the only thing to watch.
The only thing we could watch,
right.
and they were good, and they were good fights.
Point,
they were excellent, and people that weren't watching it were like, "Wow, this is amazing, man! This is great." So,
and just a side note to end it, Greg Hardy getting worked couldn't have happened to a better human, to quote one of our buddies on WKPT.
He sucks.
Yeah, what a loser. Anyway, gentlemen, phenomenal episode this evening. I thought we had some great spirited conversation. Again, as always, fans, we appreciate you. Listen, follow, share, subscribe, blast it out. We're looking for sponsors. All right, hit us up with that. If you guys have any sponsorship opportunities, we're more than willing to make that happen. Let us know. Much love. 2 coaches, 1 Grizz.